Hey kids, hey to all the lambs in the land, welcome back to another edition of Hey Lamb, your Mariah Carey dedicated podcast. I'm your host Matt, aka Treacle. If you are watching this on YouTube, because it is a video podcast and that is great. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, don't forget I do have my Mariah Carey YouTube channel as well. The link will be in the description. We've got all kinds of things going on. I'm looking at some huge Mariah Carey collections and we're doing some reviews and revisits of some of her best live performances. There's so much going on the YouTube channel, but I'm having so much fun here on the Hey Lamb podcast, having discussions with different lambs all across the land. And I am very excited to welcome today's special guest. Please say hello to the queen of the party herself. We have Mayhem Miller. Hey Lamb.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am very well. So happy to have you here. And I said just before we started recording, straight away, I was like, wow, Caution promo album vibes, because you've got the blue and the purple. It's hot.
You know, it's always a moment, darling.
Of course. We love Mimi for so many different reasons, but Caution is a whole mood and a whole moment, and we're going to get into different eras and different albums. But just in case any of the children listening to this or watching this on my YouTube channel do not know who you are and need educating, Mayhem was a standout from season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I was so happy to see you back on All Stars 5. Can you maybe just can you summarize your experiences, on the show? Do you have like one series you feel happier or more satisfied or fulfilled by?
You know what? I get asked this all the time, and I guess it depends on where I am mentally and spiritually in my life, because 10 was amazing. It was a moment that the drag world was waiting for so long. I waited for so long to get there. And of course, I did not get as far as I would have loved to, but I got that second opportunity with All Stars, and I think All Stars just, for me, was just a better experience because it was not foreign for me to be on TV. It was like going back to summer school. Like it was just like a totally different vibe. I got to be with people that I've worked with before, people that I admire, actual friends of mine, and just two different vibes, but both great experiences.
We do get that impression as well as viewers. It's like, first day at school type thing, just because everyone's new. And I look forward to the All-Star seasons because we've already fallen in love with you and you're coming back in with confidence and, like you say, working with friends, and it's a different vibe. So I was so happy when you walked back in on All-Stars 5. I fell in love with you even harder when I think you were on an Instagram live, or it was a video or something. It was when Caution was new. Caution by Mariah, so we're talking like late 2018. I don't think it was even early 2019. The album was fresh, very fresh, because you impressed me because you were jamming out to the title track Caution. I think you were in a hot tub or something, like outside, and you knew the words. You were there for the verse, you were there for the chorus. I was like, okay, I'm following the right queens here on Instagram, because Mayhem is a lamb. It was new out and you were straight in. I love that.
I know exactly the video you're talking about. I was in Hawaii, and it was actually a trip I won on season 10 of Drag Race. And
it was that? Yeah,
it was my prize that I won. I went to Hawaii and stayed at this amazing, it was like this private fucking like, can I curse? Oh my God, I said that.
Oh yeah, you can curse. Yeah.
Okay. It was like this plantation, like on the island, the big island. It was huge. And I was by myself on this major like house, and they had this hot tub, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna get naked and get in here and listen to Caution, and I just like, I'm gonna record myself and I'm gonna put it on my Instagram, and I don't care.
Well, good for you. That definitely caught my eye because, yeah, like I said, the album was new out, and Caution, the title track, yeah, it's the title track, but it's an album track. It wasn't a single, didn't get promo. So if I see anyone showing love to a new album track by Mariah, then yeah, that you get major props for that. Take me to the beginning, because I know you're a big lamb. I know you've had a couple of moments with Mimi, and I want to get into those. But let's start at the beginning. Where did it start for you? Where did you meet Mariah? When did you fall in love?
Ooh, okay. Um, I first met her in Vegas. I went to the show a couple years back, and a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get us front row tickets," and I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm definitely going in drag because I want to be fucking seen." And I didn't think anything of it until uh, one of her dancers, I know from LA and from nightlife and stuff, and he was like, "Wait a minute, that's Mayhem right there," and I was like, "Oh hi." And it was actually my birthday weekend too. She was on the microphone. She was like, "Oh, is there anyone out there that wants to come up here and have a little splash with me?" And I'm just sitting there like talking to my friend, like whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm getting called up, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, am I really getting on stage with Mariah Carey?" I'm like, "I am not prepared for this moment." It was one of those moments where your soul leaves your body because I was sitting up there, and I remember having champagne with her, and that was it. And then I get asked backstage after the show, and I'm talking with her, or she's talking to me basically, and I'm just sitting there stupid, like looking at her. She's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "You know who you are, right?" And she starts laughing. And Christopher, her makeup artist, he's just like, "I love your lashes." And I was just like, "Is this really happening to me right now?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." So she was like, "I was talking to you on stage and you just kind of stared at me." And I was like, it was just insane. That was the first time. The second time I actually met her again, we get backstage and it was me, my drag daughter, Rhea Latre, and my friend Matt. And that time she was like, "I heard you the whole show." And I was
No
like,
way.
"Hear me from." She's like, "You sang every word to every song," and I forgot. Like I was really doing the most. I was doing the absolute most. She's like, "You're just so fun." She's like, "I love seeing you here," and I'm like, "You do like you for real know who I am? This is fucking crazy." And then they were like, "Yeah, we watch your videos, we see your Instagram, everything that you tag, like we see everything. We love you." And I was like,
Oh
"Oh."
my gosh. That's amazing. You've basically duetted with Mariah for a whole freaking concert.
I did. I was like, "You know what? Just throw me in the backgrounds for now on. I know all the odds. I'm ready."
Do you remember, like, did you get to like take in the second time backstage like a little bit more? It sounds like the first time you were a little bit like many of us are when we get to meet her, a little bit starstruck, and you don't really quite get the words that you want out of your mouth. Do you remember, like, were you a bit more relaxed the second time, or was it still?
Second time around, it was like I was talking to one of my girlfriends. It was like I was like, "Girl, what is this perfume you're wearing?" And like I was like having actual conversation and enjoying the moment and not so much being starstruck, but we just chatted, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much easier this time around." But I don't know, it's just weird because I think um, as the years have gone by on social media, being recognized by her, like it kind of eased that anxiety of meeting your star, your celebrity that you look up to. It was just like, "Oh, this is more like meeting someone that I'm a friend with now." Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not, even though we're not, but in my mind we are.
Oh yeah, of course. In my mind, we're best friends, but how do you find her as an individual to meet? Because I have been lucky enough to meet her a few times. This is going back several albums and eras, but I always try and tell people I can't quite put it into words, but she really is just so warm and giving and down to earth and normal. I know she's like Mariah Carey, but as a person, she's so personable and she really does care and she's invested in even if it's a brief fleeting moment, she really does care. I always got like a real genuine warmth from her. How would you describe the vibe you get?
The vibe is it's like you're talking to a family member. Like she is so down to earth and so real. Like it's a weird describe. I can't really describe it actually. It's just like, oh, she's like one of my cousins. Like it's like, "Hey girl, what's up?" And it's so chill and it's so real. Like I've met many celebrities over the years, and I think out of everyone I've met, that is the one person that was like, oh wow, like I feel like you really connect with your fans.
Yeah.
Um, it's not one of those weird, awkward moments. It's like, no, she's gonna give you the attention that you deserve, and she's gonna let you know she appreciates you and everything that. I could not stop expressing how much I appreciated her for all she's done, and she was like, okay, well, like I appreciate you, like, and all of you that are here, like it's just cool to meet someone that you know that could be a bitch. Be like, I could care less about this moment, but she lets you know that you are a person and that you are seen and you are heard, and it changes everything.
Yeah, yeah. I feel bad for people that are really nervous to meet their idols or the people they really, really look up to. And, they've heard stories and it doesn't go well, or they do get to meet them and it's a disappointment. But I feel like we are so lucky that for us, it's Mariah and she doesn't disappoint. Even last week, when she was on Twitter Spaces, because, I was having a quick little chat with Mariah on Twitter Spaces.
Uh-huh.
Even that, she's just taken a break from writing a song. For her, it was like 3 a.m. or some nonsense. We know she likes to work late. And she's just like, oh, just jump on and see what the lambs are doing. And then she's just on there chatting, like anyone that gets to come up and speak. She doesn't have to. Like you said, someone that could be a bitch, she's so removed from that. She's so much the opposite. She doesn't have to give us all this warmth and time and attention, but she's so dialed in to the Lamely. She really genuinely cares. And I love that about her so freaking much.
I think it's so different. It's so refreshing to see a celebrity of her stature to do that, because a lot of them don't give so much of themselves, and she does give so much of herself and her time to her fans. And I was listening to that whole thing the other day, and it was like at 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, I'm just gonna lay here and just listen to this as I drift off to sleep. And I was like, she is really just like giving so much of herself, and I was like, and that's just unseen and it's unheard of sometimes when it comes to that world. And I admire her for all that she does.
I think the past year in particular, we've been really, really lucky because she's had the memoir, which is a massive moment, and then MC30 and re-releasing material and the rarities, and she's still not done. She's still working on a few things, like she said. There's just been so much to consume but also celebrate, because we're getting some new things, we're getting some new moments, but we're celebrating the back catalogue with like the EPs and everything. And it feels like a really, really awesome time to like proudly wear like your lamb badge, like we can be so proud of our girl Mariah because she's just given us so much. What has been some of your favorite recent moments? Because like I said, we've had the memoir, we had the Apple Christmas special, we had the Rarities album. Yeah, do you have any like standout moments from Mariah over the past year? Because she's fed us several times during the pandemic and during lockdown. YouTube live performances, there's been loads.
It's been so much all throughout this year, especially here or last year when we were all going through that. And a lot of artists took it as a time to take a break and sit back and wait it out. She was still pumping out all this stuff. And it was just like, oh, wow, like you are giving us everything that we need and some and more. And I was just very impressed because I was like, wow, not only are we getting the memoirs and we get the rarities and the Christmas special, I was just like, okay, now look, you need to take a vacation. Like I want her to take a good, well needed vacation, because I'm like, this is a lot to take in right now. And I know that there's more coming, which I can't wait. But it's all of it has been so good. All of it.
Yeah, I kind of got the sense that once she was really done for Christmas, she really did switch off and she popped back up on social media just a couple of times because we got our asses in gear here in the UK. We finally got our shit together and got All I Want for Christmas Is You to number one at long last. 26 years late, but we did it. She popped on and had a few little things like, I love this moment, this means a lot to me. But she did have like an extended Christmas break. Like she was in Aspen or wherever for like longer than normal. And I'm like, yes, put down the phone, put the makeup kit away, turn off all the lights, and no more selfie. Like you've earned it. You've really earned like a whole month off. And she was quiet, I think, pretty much through to the end of January, if I'm not mistaken. And she earned that rest.
Oh, she did. She did. Even me, I earned that rest too because I was like, I'm like, this is a lot, and my friends get so mad at me because I force her on them all the time.
I want to get a few of your thoughts from the memoir Mayhem. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask Mayhem all about the meaning of Mariah Carey. Hey kids, just a little reminder that you can help the Heyland podcast grow by getting involved online. We are looking for some fabulous 5-star reviews on iTunes, and you can also join the fun on Instagram. Look out for the Heyland podcast Instagram account, and I'll see you there. And we are back. So last year we finally got Mariah's memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey. It's something that I was hoping we would get for a while, and it was finally announced. I was super excited, a little bit nervous because I didn't know if it was going to really like go in or if it's going to be just a little bit, I don't say superficial, but a little bit lighter, fluffy, just like celebrity stories, things like that. I didn't really know what to expect, but I was really, really surprised by how much she gave. It's particularly from her early years in her childhood. What was your experience with the memoir? Did you read? Did you listen first? How did you consume it, and what were some of your thoughts?
I did a little bit of both. I started reading it, and then like when I'm stuck in traffic, because LA traffic is terrible, I will listen. And I was very shocked because I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be fluff. I did. I was like, oh, this is probably going to be something fun and light and stuff. And right from the jump, I'm like, oh, we're going to dive in. Okay. So I was very surprised at what we got. And I'm happy that she was able to share more of herself with us because, at us lambs, we do know and we have heard some of the stories and stuff, but I'm happy that she put it out there for the rest of the public that probably does not know her as well. And they get a little bit more insight of who she is and where she came from and why she is the way she is and the triumphs and the tragedies and all that stuff. I'm so happy that she did it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I've been really heartened by when friends of mine read the book. Because obviously I pick up a few extra spare copies. If you kind of intimate that you might even be interested, I'm throwing you a copy, like read it, please. And I love that because then my immediate circle of people around me, they get to understand why I'm so freaking obsessed with the woman, but also just to get past like the Mariah Carey label of it all, and to go in deeper, because that book was giving me revelations, and we know the timeline, we know the relationships, we know the stories, but it was really, really giving us so many layers of detail that the lambs were shocked. So like you just said, for average Joe on the street that just sees Mariah Carey, the big star, doesn't get her, just sees the divaness and everything. I think you said to understand why she is the way she is, because I feel like that she's kind of said a couple of times that I am Mariah Carey, almost like I play Mariah Carey. Being Mariah Carey is her job. She understands what Mariah Carey means to the world. And the whole diva thing, she said a few times in her career, it's like playing dress up. She never really grew out of playing dress up. And I think so many of us can relate to that. I mean, drag queens, no... you guys at the top of the list, you totally understand that. So I think people take it all a bit too seriously, and yeah, it's a bit grandiose, but she's earned her flowers and her diamonds and her accolades. She's earned all of that, everything. So let her play dress up, let her play up and be Mariah Carey. But at the end of the day, it's not that deep, and she's in on the joke. She gets it.
The joke that's my favorite part of it all. The joke of it all. And I don't think a lot of people get it, except for people who actually do get it. And that's what I find so funny about it, because she will let you know, and it's so shady how she's like, okay, you guys, you do know I'm in on this. Like, I'm not this idiot that you think I am. Like, no, bitch, I've been playing this on you guys for so long. And I'm like, yeah. And I love it. And it's because as a drag queen, I understand, because that's what we do. We put on this character for the public, and there is a person behind that. And, I just love the fact that she is like a big drag queen.
Yeah, and so many stars are, and I've got a couple of like straight male friends, and I'm trying to like put the dots in front of them and let them connect the dots that a lot of your pop stars that you love and you go and see whatever. Well, that's who you're paying money to see, and I'm paying money to go and see a drag queen or like a Mariah or a diva, where it's all the same thing. It's all, they don't all wake up like this and like go to bed like that. It's all getting up and almost putting on a costume, doing a job. Mariah's day job is being Mariah Carey. Your day job is being Mayhem Miller. We've all got day jobs. We all wear some kind of costume or drag or whatever it is. And some of my friends are really getting that now. And I actually do credit Drag Race with a lot of that, especially over here with how popular the UK season was. I've noticed a lot of friends when my sister and my mother started watching. I was like, okay, you're all up in like my bubble now. This feels really this room's getting a bit crowded, but it's awesome and everyone kind of gets it. And I feel like people can now look at celebrities maybe a little bit differently. And I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I'm hoping that more people can get in on the joke with Mariah a little bit, because she is so self-aware. You said that she's been playing them all this whole time, and that's perfectly it.
It's kind of like, when I was watching Paris Hilton's documentary and how we got a look into her life and how she's been playing her role this whole time, and everyone's like, wait, I thought she was this dumb blonde this whole time. No, bitch, she's been playing everyone this whole damn time. Like, the bitch is smart as fuck and she has all your money now. Like,
Exactly.
A lot of us celebrities, well, I don't say us because I'm not a celebrity, I'm just a well-known drag queen. But we play our part, we play our role, just like everyone else gets up every day and puts on a little bit of something that makes them different to get through life. We do the same thing, but ours is for entertainment for other people. And, I really admire the way that she does it.
We all have our game face. We all have our war paint. It just so happens that yours and Mariah's is a little bit more sparkly and glamorous, but it's the same thing. We all do it. Mayhem, what is like your earliest memory of Mariah? Something I like to ask people. Was it like you discovered her music randomly, or was it a friend or a family member? Did a song come on in a club one time? Like, do you remember what the moment was?
I have several moments that I remember her as a child. But of course, I think it was the first thing I saw was the NBA game when she sang.
When she first started out, America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful. I'm like, what was it? I keep singing fucking Star Spangled Banner in my head, but America the Beautiful. I think that's the first time I saw her, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Who is this? And I remember as a kid at recess, I was a weird kid. I would spend my recess walking in the field on the playground, picking flowers, and I would always sing, I can't live when living is without you. I can't live. I would be in the field just having my whole Mariah moment. Just an emotional child. I don't know why I was singing that song all the time, but I just loved her ever since the beginning. Make It Happen used to be one of my jams that I would just play over and over and over, and I just loved I just never heard a voice like that ever. And I sang as a kid, and I was like, I have to sound like her. I have to sing like this person. And so I just always just was enamored by her talent and her beauty. Oh my God, I used to be like, I'm gonna marry a girl that looks like her. And then things changed.
No, I'm gonna be a girl that looks like, yeah. No, when you said about like being in the field picking flowers, you were saying, I was waiting for you to say dream lover. Going through the field and like little shorts, picking up the flowers, rolling around in the grass.
You tell me.
What about like friends and everything? Because I was closeted little gay boy, closeted gay teenager, and over here there's been ups and downs for like Mariah, and it's not always been something that you always like shout loudly like, oh, I'm a Mariah Carey fan. I feel like things have changed in the past like few years, but like 15, 16, 17 being closeted and a Mariah fan, it's something I kept to myself and I shared it with a few friends. Over here I feel like things are now starting to change. But when I got to like 17, 18, that's when I first met other lambs and got to completely geek out, and it was amazing. What about you? Was it like you are a Mariah fan and you're like isolated, or did you meet other lambs early on?
I didn't meet other lambs until later on. It was like my adult years that I started like finding friends that were like, "Wait, you love Mariah Carey?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It wasn't like until I was like, once I started doing drag actually, because I started doing drag and I would do songs from Glitter, and when I would do
Ooh.
songs, I would notice certain people in the audience that would be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, we got to talk after the show." Like, that's I started noticing that.
Which songs would you do from Glitter?
Oh my God, didn't mean to turn you on.
Love it. Love it.
It would just crack me up because that, of course, that during that time, everyone would be like, "I hate Glitter," and I'm like, "Well, bitch, listen to the fucking soundtrack." Like, listen to the soundtrack. It's a fucking masterpiece. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wasn't appreciated, too ahead of her time. This year's exciting because it's the 20th anniversary. I don't know if you saw, she just put out some new Pride merch, and there were a couple of glitter items. You remember Mariah on TRL promoting Loverboy with the t-shirt, right? And she
Oh yeah.
stripped and took it off. That t-shirt, she's had that made, and we can all now buy the Loverboy t-shirt. It feels like such a iconic pop culture moment. So we've all ordered, and I'm now seeing some lambs in America, they're actually receiving their items, and I'm like, the fucking genius of this woman to reclaim that moment from 20 summers ago, and now she's shipping it out to the lambs, you know, putting a price on it, shipping it out, and we're going to be flooding all of our timelines with these selfies and reclaiming. I can't wait for glitter, hashtag glitter 20 to really get started. Do you think she's going to celebrate it in like some big way? Because I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but I would love for her to just reclaim the whole fucking album and go for it.
I don't know if she will, but I know I will. I plan on renting out a theater and having them play the movie, and I'm
Oh my
inviting.
God. Do it, please. Let me know. I'll be there.
I, that's what we've been doing here. Like a lot of the theaters had just been like you could open your own private party at a lot of the movie theaters here, and so I'm like, you know what? I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a glitter party.
I love that. I love that. I think it was, oh my gosh, like 6 months ago, I was just doing lots of random content on my YouTube channel, and I made a video which was Glitter 20th anniversary, my hopes, wishes, dreams. And I just put it all out there, and knowing that things couldn't really happen, especially with the craziness that we've had in the past year. But I was like, what if Mariah did like a movie theater tour and gave us like a Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of vibe, where there's some kind of host and she's there on a mic and she introduces the movie. We're all like a sing along, and then she gets to do like live commentary. Oh no, I hated that shot. No, no, no. Okay, pause it there. Let me tell you a story real quick about this. Like that kind of thing. I would pay like top dollar for that kind of experience.
I think we need to put this into the universe and make it happen. Like seriously, 'cause I am all for it.
Yeah, I'd
I
love
will
it.
I will go from city to city and host these parties. I will fucking do it.
There you go. And yeah, because then we need someone to warm up the crowd. There needs to be a host. Mariah needs to be taken care of. There needs to be an after party. There's so many different layers to this experience. Maybe even like a little mini kind of glitter like museum thing. If they've got room within the theater, you can like walk through it, because we know she's still got the Loverboy boots. She's shown them on camera in her closet. There could be a few little things from the movie, like wardrobe items. Then you go and take your seat. You get ready. Mariah comes out. It would be a fantastic night for lambs for sure.
I swear, this would be so good.
Sadly, I think I'm reaching for the moon and the stars with that one, with the current situation. But you never know. You never know. Maybe we'll at least get some unreleased tracks or bonus little moments that didn't make the cut. I feel like she's still got so much love for glitter, and rightly so, because it is actually a quality piece of music, the soundtrack, and it's just a shame that it never really got the love and the shine that it deserved. So fingers crossed this is the year, with it being its 20th anniversary.
That's so crazy to me.
I know that ages all of us terribly. I remember being in Leicester Square and being there for. I got tickets to a press screening for the movie, and I dragged my sister, almost kicking and screaming, and we watched the movie, and I was first meeting Lambs and everything. I was like, oh my gosh. And looking back, I was a child. I was an absolute child, but 20 years, where's it gone? What are some of your favorite albums and songs? I want to get more of a sense of, like, you know, what aspect of Mariah's catalog of music you personally connect with, because she gives us so much. We've got songs for the club, we've got take us to church moments, we've got some amazing collaborations, we've got different moods and vibes across the years. I'm not going to ask you, like, you know, what is your absolute, like, top three, live or die by it, but what are some of, like, the ones that maybe get a little bit more of a rotation in your playlists?
Butterfly album, Emancipation, and Caution.
You can't go much wrong with that. How surprised were you by Caution? Because I didn't know what to expect with Caution, I'll be honest.
I was really surprised with Caution because it went in a different direction than I thought it would go. I thought we were going to get, maybe some more poppy things and, a revisit to that type of, but I was like, oh no, you're going to go ahead and give us these good R&B fucking vibes. And I loved every moment of it. Like, it's one of those albums that I could honestly say I could listen from beginning to end without skipping.
Yeah. I'm the same. I love that it's short and concise. The only thing that kind of like feels like it doesn't fit is Portrait. But it's only because it is so deep and so personal. It's like you've got the whole 9 tracks that are a vibe, and then you've got Portrait, which kind of mentally I have to remember that's about to happen. So it kind of takes me out of the vibe a little bit, but that's not a bad thing because it's such a beautiful song.
That song, so when the album came out, I was touring, and I remember getting on a plane and I was so exhausted. I was like, I just got off the gig, got to the hotel room, showered, took off my makeup, and I had to go straight to the airport to fly to another country. And I was just like exhausted. I was just so done. And that song came on and I'm listening to it and I completely lose it. I'm just sobbing in tears. And I end up tweeting her and I was like, thank you so much for the song. And then when I got a message back, I fucking lost my shit. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, you saw that. And that song hit so hard. I was so thankful for that song on that album.
I can imagine. I think I look at it, and I said before about her having to, almost like play Mariah Carey, and then Portrait is a little bit more like it is the face behind the mask, and it is the woman behind the performer, and you're a performer, and especially in that context, like you've come off stage, you're exhausted and you're traveling. That's probably like your most vulnerable point to hear that song because you're going to relate to it the hardest in that moment. I'm not surprised you had such a strong reaction to it on the first listen.
It hit so hard that day, and it still does every time I hear it. I'm just like, oh, I was like, you are singing to me. I was like, this is my story. Oh my God. I love that song. Love it.
I was really pleasantly surprised by Caution. She said since that she wasn't quite done with it, and I think it's a case of like the label kind of like snatching it from her hands, like, oh, that looks like an album, it's kind of done, yoink, we'll take it. And it wasn't the usual, 14, 15 track album maybe we're used to. There's no interludes and things, but I think it was pretty clean. Like, she said she could have done more with it. She wanted more time. And I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm so glad we got it. She could have sat on that for another year, tweaking it.
I think it was a work of art. The whole thing was so good. And if there's more, I want to hear what else is there. I want more, of course, but I thought it was perfect.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. We're going to take another very quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about maybe what is coming next. Thanks for listening to Hey Lamb, guys. I hope you are enjoying it. If you are, you can leave me a little tip. You can buy me a drink over on buymeacoffee.com. It is a great way to show your support to your favorite creators by buying them a drink. Simply head over to buymeacoffee.com/heylamb and you can tip me with a little drink. Cheers. Maybe it's in my head, but I feel like there's just such a widening now of the group of celebrities that are open about showing love, and it's like on the red carpet if she goes to the Golden Globes, or it's, you know, when she's like walking the red carpet and then someone's like, oh my god, Mariah Carey behind me, and they can't engage in their own interview because they're freaking out that Mariah Carey's behind them. Or people just jamming out to her music and having throwback moments like their favorite, you know, song from childhood. I mean, is this in my head, or are you kind of feeling that as well with other like celebrities?
Whenever I see that happen, I'm just like, I wonder if she's sitting at home like, God damn, like I'm that girl. I have everyone just really like gagged on me. Like that has to be such a like amazing feeling to know that other people, especially on that level, view you as the Mariah Carey. Like it's insane to me. And when I see that happening with other celebrities showing her all that love and giving her her flowers, I'm just like, wow, wow. Because a lot of people don't like to share their platforms in that way of celebrating other people, but they just want to focus on their image. And whenever I see other people do that, I'm just like, that's amazing.
It makes me happy, and it makes me excited for what is coming next. There's been a big turnaround in her career because we had like the manager situation, things that were going on before Caution, and Caution has been like a cultural reset for the Lamely, and it's been not a big seller, but albums don't sell right now, and I feel like it wasn't like a finished album in her eyes, but it was so well received. I think it maybe surprised her camp just how much, like, oh wow, actually this isn't us just dropping an album, this is actually a really big moment. And I'm so excited by how much love she's receiving over the past couple of years. And then the memoir was well received, and the Apple special pulled some good numbers. I feel like the general public is by and large team Mariah now, whereas maybe it was like 50-50, people can take her or leave her. I feel like there's going to be a lot more momentum behind her next project, and I'm really, really excited for what a future studio album could bring. Do you have any hopes or wishes for another studio album? Are there any collaborations? She's recently spoken about maybe, well, she said something about Brandy and some background vocals on that Twitter Spaces. Maxwell popped on. Who do you want to see on the next album?
I did hear about that whole Brandy situation, and I was like, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. I was not even thinking of that kind of collaboration. But once it got thrown out there to me, I was like, oh no, it has to happen. It has to. Like, I need that. And then when Maxwell popped in there the other day, I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, what is happening? I would love, okay, in my ideal world of Mariah, I would love a whole album of duets. That I just want to have her sing with so many people, because I'm like, everyone wants to sing with her, or everyone at least has been inspired by her. And I just would love to see just her collaborating with just a whole album of just collaborations with people.
I kind of have a sneaking suspicion we may be getting some of those moments, possibly because everyone's getting really excited for MC16, the follow up to Caution. But I think she is still reinventing some songs. You know, she gave us Close My Eyes acoustic at the end of the Rarities. And then she reworked Always Be My Baby. It's like a cute little lullaby version, which was on, you guys over there in America, you had an animated movie, this rabbit or something. I forget the title, but there was a 2-minute version of Always Be My Baby, really cute lullaby version, but it's not been released. It was just on this TV movie. And that We Belong Together, late night Valentine jazz going on for like 7 minutes. Oh my God, where did that come from? And what was the inspiration? How crazy was that?
When that hit, I said, what the fuck is this? And why am I getting this now? And why do I want more? I would love to get more of those jazzy revamps of some of the songs. I would love that. The thing is, her catalog is so huge. She has the material to just be like, you know what? I'm going to redo this whole album. I'm just going to change the whole vibe. And it's like, oh my God, you could. You literally could do that. And we would love it. And I would love for her to do some more like standard style jazz inspired remixes. I would love that.
I think we've got so many more moments to come. I do think that next is going to be some more We Belong Together style kind of remixes. I don't know if it's going to be all like in a jazz style, but what did she say on Twitter Spaces that I'm working on something. It's not an album, but it's not an album. It's something. And then she said about re-recording songs or reworking songs to own her masters, because people get confused with masters and publishing. Like, she owns her publishing because she writes her material, but it's very, very rare for any artist to actually own the recording, to own the masters. I believe, I'm happy to be corrected, lambs, listening and watching, I believe she owns the masters to Glitter because she purchased them from Virgin. So when we got Glitter like a year ago now, which is kind of the kickoff of MC30, the first treat we got last year was Glitter appearing on streaming services. And when I scroll down to the bottom of my phone, I was listening to it on Apple, and you get to like the copyright part, it just had copyright Mariah, just her name. And then a few of us were talking, we're like, yeah, she's bought it. She apparently she's bought the masters. She outright owns Glitter, and that's why she is putting it on streaming as a gift for the lambs, which is why I think we got so much celebration. Didn't she change her Twitter or Instagram to like Billy Frank and stuff? Like, she was really celebrating it because it was out of her own pocket.
I did not know that.
Ah, there you go.
Did not know that, but now that it makes sense now. Okay. Shit.
So maybe that's given her a little taste for owning her masters. And she said on Twitter Spaces she's reworking or re-recording, whichever phrase she used at the time, so she can own her masters. And I'm like, wow, which songs is she going to go and redo? Because we've already got Close My Eyes, As We Belong Together, Always Be My Baby. Last year we got some great things like that wonderful mashup of Through the Rain and Make It Happen on a live performance on her YouTube channel. And I'm down for things like this. People want MC16, they want Caution 2.0, and I'm like, yeah. But maybe like next year, we know the end of this year is going to be Christmas. Sounds like it's another Apple special. I live. But between now and then, Glitter 20th anniversary. So that's another reflective kind of, celebratory moment. And she said she's re-recording things. So maybe we're going to get an EP or a couple of EPs at different points. And I mean, after We Belong Together jazz version, she can do whatever she wants as far as I'm concerned. Take any song you want in any kind of direction. I trust you. Just, do it.
That's exactly where I'm at. I'm like, I don't care. Do it because it is genius. It really is.
Yeah. And that's where I think maybe we're going to get these kind of collaborations, because people are like, oh, Brandy, Maxwell, they've had like their moments. I'm like, no, like everyone is still current. Everyone's still talented. But maybe if Mariah is going back into her catalog and she's taken someone like Brandy and taken one of her own like 90s songs, to get Brandy on a reinvented Mariah song from the 90s, that is going to smack hard. It's really, really going to be delicious. I don't know if I've got any like dream songs for her to re-record. What about you? It's tough.
Ooh.
Because everything's so perfect. There's nothing that I'm like, if you redid it, I might like it more. I don't know.
I don't know if I want. I don't know.
I know it's tough. I'm sorry, that is a tough question. But let's think maybe specifically about like Brandy, because I'm really interested in how she would work with Brandy. And she did say, I think in the tweet, she tweeted Brandy like, hey, are we doing these background vocals? And I'm like, right, background vocals, because Mariah is the queen of stacking vocals and creating a wall of sound. Brandy is princess of doing that. So the two of them, like, wow, which songs would do really, really well? There are so many Mariah songs that have got beautiful, layers and stacked vocals. And I think Brandy, I mean, my mind goes straight to like the Butterfly album, but then I feel a little bit of trepidation tiptoeing towards it because it's just such a masterpiece. Like, how do you kind of touch anything there?
I like, it's crazy because like, yes, it's completely true. It's a masterpiece. So it's like, why would you like mess with it? But I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards creating new things. But I'm not opposed to seeing what can be reworked. I'm not opposed to that.
I think we're going to get some standalone songs and moments. So Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who she's worked with on many occasions, very heavily involved in Rainbow, they're having like their first actual album like their album, and she's got at least one song with them, I understand, and word on the street is that it's coming out very soon. The album is from them is due in June, so I think we're gonna get like there's a moment with them. Then she might have a little EP or something where she's re-recording just a small collection of her own songs. Maybe there's Brandy and Maxwell. We've got Glitter 20. She's writing at least one new song for the Christmas special, I think. So I think we're going to get little kind of drops throughout the rest of this year. Like one song here, two songs there.
I think we're going to get, we're going to get something to snack on for the rest of this year. We're going to have snacks here and there. I want a full meal very soon.
That's a great way of putting it. I think you're right. I think, yeah, it's moments and just snacks for the rest of the year. MC16, the next studio album, will be the main meal. And that is, I think realistically, it's next year. I don't say it too loudly because I know some people get mad at me when I say that. Like, no, we need it this year. We need it this year. But I think she needs just a little bit longer.
Hey.
Yeah, we'll wait. I'm kind of used to a 4-year gap now between albums. Memoirs, 2009, and then we got Me I Am, meant to be 2013, eventually got it 2014, so that's like 5 years. Then from 2014 to 2018, then we get Caution. Although we did get Merry Christmas to You 2010, so yeah, still 4 years from there to the next one. But I'm kind of like, yeah, every 4 years. So once we got Caution, I'm like, enjoy. I still play it a lot. I was still treating it as if it were new 18 months after it came out. But I think maybe next year. We'll see. Mayhem, there's one thing that I have to ask you about, which is a particular episode of Drag Race. It's an episode that you were not on, but I need to get your thoughts, feelings, and comments on the Diva Worship episode, because I don't often shout at my TV, but that one did provoke some strong feelings from me. So for anyone that did not see this episode, this was early on season 11, right? So it's after your season. One half of the cast took Britney to worship, and they did a fairly strong job. And the other half of the cast, they chose to do Mariah and entered into this maxi challenge with, I want to say, like zero knowledge pretty much of Mariah Carey, and I felt angry. Do you remember watching that episode, and what was your reaction?
I think that's when I stopped watching Drag Race. I was very, very upset about that. I was like, okay, look, you could at least gave our season that challenge, and I would have thrived, bitch. I was like, wow. I was like, these girls have no idea what they're talking about, what they're doing. They have no knowledge of the queen or whatsoever. And I was very upset. I was like, and the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, please, Lord, don't let her be a guest judge. Please don't let her be a guest judge. I was like, oh my God. I was dreading that. That whole episode was dreadful to watch.
It was difficult because they chose Mariah, and then RuPaul came around and tried giving them a few little nuggets, and that they didn't have anything. They were talking about like songs, and someone named Emotions, and they started singing So Emotional by Whitney. And they just look at each other, like nod along, and like they've got the challenge sewn up. My head was in my hands.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And a lot of people know how much I love Mariah. So when that was going down, I was getting a lot of messages in my DMs. And they're like, girl. And I'm like, look,
You're powerless. At that point, you're just a viewer, same as the rest of us. It's not your season. You're just watching as a viewer. It was difficult. All it takes is one person. That would have been the perfect challenge for your season, because you would go, right, this is who we're doing and this is how we're doing it. Get in line. I'm telling you the segments. Here's everything. Here's like 10 times more material than we possibly need for one challenge. Boom. You would have smashed that.
I only wish. Only wish.
Do you think that we'll maybe have like a Mariah moment. I discussed this with Jason Carter a few weeks back on the podcast, and it's a difficult one because I don't know whether a guest judge slot is necessarily the right thing. I thought maybe like a rusical, but Jason wasn't sure like her music really lends herself. I don't know what it is, but after coming close to having like a semi Mariah moment with the challenge and that being such a I just don't feel like there's enough Mariah love. We've had that one lip sync on All Stars 4 and that's it. So how do we get more Mariah on Drag Race, do you think? Is it a guest judge slot or is it just a decent challenge?
I want a rusical and I want her to be a guest judge. I really, but then I'm kind of jaded because I'm like, well, that's not fair because I wanted her to be a guest judge when I was there. And I don't think that any of these girls deserve to have her as a guest judge unless I'm there. So I'm like, if this does happen, I told Raven one time, I was like, okay, now look, I know you're not supposed to tell me things. I was like, but whenever Mariah decides to come and she's a guest judge, I must be on set. And she was like, do you think I would not? I would not keep that a secret from you. She was like, I will fucking break all the contracts and tell you, and you can show because I know where we film. I will drive my goddamn self and walk on set and make sure that I'm present for that moment because I don't want any other drag racer getting to have her the way that I need to have her.
I feel you. I feel you. I would love to have her be a guest judge. And then when Nicki Minaj was announced, I kind of sunk a little bit because I was like, oh, well, she's not going to do it like next year now, you know? And then like, it's no hate against Nicki, but you know, I don't feel like Mariah's going to do things after other people have. Like if we get J-Lo go on, and I'm like, well, then she's not going to do it for at least 5 more years now, you know? So I was a little bit put out when Nikki went on because it was a great episode. Don't get me wrong. It was a great episode. And I think Nikki did great in her guest judge spot. But I was like, well, Mariah's not doing it next year. I can write off the next season. That's for sure. I think my dream scenario would be a guest judge spot in the same way that they launched, was it season 9 with Gaga? Because nobody went home. It was like a big love fest. Lady Gaga got to really connect with the queens and give them advice, and Untucked was beautiful, and it was just a big celebration and, like I said, a love fest. And I think that would be the way to win Mariah on the panel, because she just meeting people and having any kind of hand or in how deciding who may leave, or that would just make her, I feel, because she's such a kind soul, a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like if she gets invited to like a premiere where it's just like a big meet the cast celebration, let's just, you know, champion those that do well, and it's kind of centered around her a little bit, I feel like that would be a way to kind of coax her on. Because come on, World of Wonder, we need to coax Mariah on.
I think that would be perfect. Or I know she would never do this, but if we did another season of Celebrity Drag Race, I would love for her to do that. And just because I think she would have a lot of fun just being like, yeah, I'll fucking be a drag queen for the day. Let's do this.
I never even thought of that.
And transform her. I would love to do that. Because I worked behind the scenes for Celebrity Drag Race. And I was like, you know what? I would wonder who would come and do the season 2 of this. And I would love if she came and I got to transform her. I think that would be so much fun.
Okay, yeah, that would be your absolute dream, because yeah, for Celebrity Drag Race, they need like the mentor, they need the queen to guide them. And oh my gosh, I would get so much fulfillment watching you, knowing how much that she means to you. Do you think we're going to get a second season of Celebrity Drag Race?
I'm hoping so. I won't say anything, but I'm hoping so. And
I hope so.
I hope I'll be part of the team again, because it was a different experience for me to work behind the camera. And you know, working with celebrities was intimidating, but at the same time, it was a dream come true to be like, you know what? Now you're in our world, and I can show you what we do, and be a mentor to someone who, you know, already is established and has their whole situation, but to bring them into the world of drag and teach them what we do. Like it's so much fun, and I can't wait if we do it.
Yeah, you'd be there at the stage. You're like, "Hey, Mariah, love your work. Welcome to my house. Let me show you around. Here's how we do things. Here's how things are gonna go." Yeah, I don't know if I can see her doing that. I would lose my shit if she did. That would be amazing. I mean, if they're gonna do a big, promotional thing for her next album, to pick some moments to make her go viral. I mean, Drag Race is huge right now, and for Mariah Carey to go on and do Celebrity Drag Race, I mean, I don't know if that would blow up anything. Nothing else is going to blow up as big as that for her. That would just be crazy. Mayhem, we've got just a couple of minutes left, and I need to play my resident game with you. So here we go. I'll introduce the rules right after the titles. It's time for Spin, Pin, or Bin. We like to do things properly here. So, spin, pin, or bin. I have a random generator on my phone with every single Mariah Carey song, save for the Christmas catalogue. I'm keeping that separate till later this year. So I'm going to hit the random choice button. We're going to get 3 Mariah songs, and we have to allocate 1 to spin, 1 to pin, and 1 to bin. So spin is love it, play that shit now. Bin is, well, we say bin here in the UK, you say trash. So bin is throw it out and you never get to play it again. And then the middle one is pin. So it's like, I'm not going to play it right now and I'm not going to throw it out. Let's put a pin in it. Maybe it's for another day. So it's spin, pin, or bin. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, right. First song is Thank God I Found You from the Rainbow album. Second song is one that got mentioned earlier, title track Caution from 2018's Caution album. And the third and final song is Breakdown from Butterfly. So those are the 3 songs. And I think it's a tough one today, kids. Everyone watching on YouTube and listening, let us know. So these are the choices. You got Thank God I Found You, Caution, and Breakdown. You have to spin one. You can pin one, but you've got to bin one. Okay, I'll be honest, this is one of the hardest ones that's come up. Do you know what you want to do?
Oh God. I am going to spin Breakdown, pin, and we're gonna go ahead and bin Thank God I Found You.
It is tough. It is tough. My gut reaction, I mean, you have to spin Breakdown. You have to. I feel like I kind of want to spin Caution, but it's because it's so current. But actually, like, it has to be Breakdown. I have to spin Breakdown. And I'm really, really torn. But if I'm honest, I think I would bin Thank God I Found You with a heavy heart. Because if I want to have that kind of vibe, I'm always going to go to One Sweet Day with Boys to Men. I do love Thank God I Found You. I love the Rainbow album so much. But Caution will be pinned. Yeah, that's quite a tough one. I love playing that game because every time it's a different guest, they've got different preferences, and every time it is a different selection of songs. So that was spin, pin, or bin.
That was tough.
That was a tough one. Sometimes they're super easy, but that one kind of made me think. And then afterwards, I put it up on social media so people can play along. And I'm like, let me remind myself. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's ooh. And I kind of like rethink it a little bit. I'm like, no, I have to commit. What I said on mic is what I'm going with. But it's fun. I'm trying to get Mariah's attention because she said on Twitter Spaces that she wants to play like games with the Lamely. And she was like, oh, if you could only have like 3 albums, let's say one is Daydream, one's Merry Christmas, and one is something that I'm working on right now. So it's kind of a gamble if you take that. If you only keep one, which one would it be? I was like, you're basically playing Fuck, Marry, Kill. That's what I'm doing. I've been playing Spin, Pin, or Bin for a couple of months now on the podcast. So I'm trying to tag Mariah and let her know that we're playing this game and she's very welcome to join.
I love it. Now you're inspiring me. I'm going to fucking play along as well from now on. I'm going to force my fans to do the same.
when this episode comes out, I will tag you and remind you of your choices. You have to either stand by them or whether you want to reconsider. Mayhem, it has been an absolute pleasure to meet you and chat with you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Always welcome. Please tell everybody where they can interact with you, follow you, and get involved. Where can we find you online?
You can find me at the Only Mayhem on every platform, and you can see me live in person now, doing live drag shows all throughout Southern California right now, and soon to be the rest of the world.
Yay! The world is finally opening up. How are the bookings at the moment? Are they good and plentiful now?
Blessed, busy, booked, black, and beautiful right now. It's all good bees right now.
I love that.